I first met Dr. Jean at a health fair at the Georgia World Congress Center a little over 3.5 years ago, and I liked his approach. I liked the fact that he did not advocate just a total departure from what we'll call Western medicine. He saw it as a blend, but he saw this as augmenting what we all need to do and raise our awareness.
I started coming to Dr. Jean because I was exhausted. I had spent years just feeling overwhelmed, depressed, tired. I had trouble getting up. I had trouble motivating myself to do anything.
My son had been suffering since he was 3 years old with allergies, with asthma perhaps, no one could ever really tell me, and just issues where his nose was constantly running, where he had a constant cough, and he went through tissues at school all day long.
A couple of years ago, I started having panic attacks. It had built up, and I woke up in the middle of the night one night and had full-blown panic attacks. I had fainted. My heart was racing. It felt like I was going to die.
My husband was coming first for many years to see Dr. Jean to help him with some of his back pain and stress issues. And then I was in a car accident, and my husband suggested I come to help me with some of the back pain and neck pain that I was having.
And called my regular allopathic doctor and was working with them. They immediately prescribed traditional medicine for panic attacks, which actually, for me, made everything worse.
I knew that something was affecting me, something in the environment or food, but nothing that I was doing was helping. I was very frustrated.
One day I just came to doing some research online, and I found Dr. Jean in the Center for Holistic Health, and I was pretty anxious for him to see my son.
I was looking up stuff on the internet, just trying to figure out what I could do, what could maybe help me, and I came across Dr. Jean's number.
I just knew that I didn't just want to medicate myself, and a friend that I work with had incredible things to say about the Center for Holistic Health and Dr. Jean, and I thought, I'm going to try that.
Well, Dr. Jean is a doctor of chiropractic, but he also has expanded that to learn additional things related to the impacts on the body. And what I do like about Dr. Jean very much is that he sees that there is a combination of both what I'll say the Western medicine approaches, Eastern medicine approaches, and new philosophies on combining all of them to come to a solution for different people.
What I find unique about Dr. Jean's approach and here at the Center for Holistic Health is the way that he does treat the whole person. We're not just one component. We're not just a body with physical symptoms. We have a mind, we have a spirit. We're made up of energy. That's a scientific fact.
Western doctors want to give you a medication, a chemical, to deal with whatever. That's how they're trained. And there are very few of them that are trained to look holistically.
I guess it's the word holistic, really, which is the name of this place, that it's looking at you in a complete and full way, and again, giving you tools to help yourself.
So they want to write you a prescription, and that's going to fix it. And often all that's going to fix is the symptoms. It's not going to get to the root of the issue. And I feel with Dr. Jean, I have experience where we get more to the root of the issue.
The Center for Holistic Health offers a whole gamut of different mediums, tools, processes for looking at all of those pieces of ourself.
I see him both for nutritional response testing and also for network chiropractic. My husband also sees him for the nutritional response testing. So
his practice and his healing sets, as do both my husband and I. We now see him as well for nutrition, which has helped certainly my digestive kind of issues. And my husband has just started, and I think it's starting to help him as well.
he has a pretty high pressure job, and it was really starting to get to him. When he started doing the nutritional testing, he just calmed down a whole lot, and he just seemed happier, more at peace, and healthier. He's feeling good. I think he was feeling he was on some medication, and he's dropped back on that. So he's really getting it from nutrition, which has been fabulous for him.
And once we removed wheat from his diet, per Dr. Jean's suggestion, we saw improvement.
The network spinal analysis is what I started working with him with, and it was amazing. I would feel every time that I would come in, and I came in a few times a week, especially at first, my whole body would just feel more calm and relaxed. It would affect me the whole day.
To me, he's always looking at the whole picture, adding up the pieces, and thinking about it. He doesn't just have a stock answer for everybody.
It's been tremendously helpful for my back and my alignment, particularly because I found a set of skills that I can use to help myself. So when I feel like my back is tight or there's a place where I'm uncomfortable, I have the ability now to control my energy and bring it to the place that I need it, and then alleviate the discomfort.
I lost 10 pounds. I was able to almost give up sugar, and I certainly have the energy now to run after my son, who's taking the world now by storm.
As many people, you get locked in to your behaviors, and you think they work for you, and you don't always recognize the negativity of some of the things. So Dr. Jean helped me be very focused on the areas that were the most, created the most blocks for me physically. So he helped me in that way to become aware of the areas and things I could specifically do. And Dr. Jean was very effective in that, because he also did not belittle the things that you dealt with.
If you're having any sort of health issues, from the mundane, something that you can just ignore, a sort of chronic little pain here, a pain there, to the extreme, if you've gotten a diagnosis, panic attacks, cancer, all the myriad of diagnoses that we can have, I would strongly suggest walk, don't run, to the Center for Holistic Health to see Dr. Jean. It's pretty amazing what happens here.
Even if I maybe have slacked a little bit on what I'm supposed to be doing, his gentle nudging is always with kindness and love and care for me and for his patients in general.
Like I said, panic attacks are debilitating and chronic. I've heard about people who get to the point where they can't drive and they can't function in the world. I felt that I could easily have been on that path, and within a very short span of time, I feel vital and healthy, dynamic, and alive.
I absolutely have, and I do, and I will continue to recommend Dr. Jean to others.
I would just recommend him because I think he's a healer, and I think he's very intentional in what he does. He's always studying to learn more. He's excited about his work, and I think that's a wonderful thing to be around, inspiring and healing. So, yes, I would and have recommended Dr. Jean.
I feel really good, and I attribute that to Dr. Jean and the work that he does here at the Center for Holistic Health.
Absolutely, I recommend him all the time. The changes in my life have just been amazing, and every time anyone tells me about anything that's going on with them, I'm always telling them that they need to see Dr. Jean.
So I'm very grateful to Dr. Jean. My son is very grateful to Dr. Jean. My husband is very grateful to Dr. Jean. He's given us our family back.